Hello. Welcome to this class called Head, Shoulders, Hips and Knees and Toes. Today we'll aim to give some attention to all those particular areas in our body through a gentle to slightly warming flow. So find yourself into a comfortable seated posture. For this today, I would recommend a belt, perhaps a brick or two, and I'm currently sitting on a cushion so that my spine will be upright. Cushion and blanket and all will do. So start crown of the head up towards the ceiling, find the elbows coming towards the waistline, and you can have your palms up or down depending on what feels more comfortable for you. Let's take a few breaths here to take stock of how we are feeling today on our mat. Notice your breath. Notice the gentle sway it brings in your body. And notice your body too. How are you feeling physically at this very moment? Remember to only ever go as far as you feel is comfortable. Take one more breath. When you feel ready to slowly open your eyes, you may stay into this current seated posture, or still seated but perhaps the legs extended or sat on your heels, whatever feels more comfortable. As we first of all look at our neck and feel the neck. So from here, as you inhale, you are gazing towards the center. As you exhale, you're going to gaze over towards your left. Try to keep the chin parallel to the floor. Inhale back through towards the center and over towards the other side. Again, inhale to the center, exhale to the left. Inhale to the center, exhale to the right. One last time. Exhale to the left. Back to the center, exhale to the right. Let's come back through towards the center this time. As we inhale, we are in the center. As we exhale, we bring the gaze upward, lengthening into the throat. Inhale back through towards the center. This time, tuck the chin in towards the chest, giving yourself a double chin, stretching into the back of the neck. Let's do this twice more. Inhale to the center. Exhale up. Inhale to the center. Exhale, stretch into the back of the neck. Once more, following your own breath. Come back in towards the center, and here you're going to bring the shoulders up towards the ears and very gently bring them down so the elbows come down. Two more. Inhale, come up. Exhale, down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, down. Then leaving the shoulders as they are, bring the chin in towards the chest, drop the chin towards the chest. We're going to take semicircles here. So currently you're in the center. As you exhale, you're going to bring the chin towards the right shoulder. And then as you inhale, it comes all the way to the left shoulder. So take a few of those. Feeling that stretch into the back of the neck, going from side to side into semicircle, shoulders down. One more to either side. Inhale back through towards the center. Bring the head towards the center. This time shoulders come forward and up and back and down. And then back and up and forward and down. Release the left ear towards the left shoulder. Allow the gaze to be soft here. Allow a couple of breaths to happen. Aim to keep those elbows back in towards the waistline. And then take the left hand over and around the right ear, gently resting. So I have my middle finger on my earlobe. But your hand maybe wherever feels comfortable. So there is no pull of the hand. It's just gravity and the weight of your arm that is gently putting some more pressure, if you like, on the head. Pressure, for lack of a better word, really, as this is just a very gentle stretch. Then allow the hand to come away, bring yourself back to the center very gently. Ooh, notice what this feels like. Inhale to the center. As you exhale, you're going to come over to the right shoulder. With your right ear, noticing if there is a difference between sides. Take the right arm over the left ear. Rest your hand somewhere around the ear so that you're sort of enclaving your head very gently, and thus with the breath and time and gravity, very gently a stretch is happening onto the side of the neck. Let go of the hands, bring the head back gently towards the center. So we start slowly. No point in hurrying up with the neck, because this is when we can get some kinks. So we're trying to iron out the kinks. Again, a shoulder roll forward. So we elevate the upper body and then we take it back into the other directions twice. Let's take the opposite crossing of the legs if your legs are crossed. Alternatively, extend them or extend one leg and keep one knee bent. Whatever feels comfortable. Aim is to have that spine still upright. Now let's take the arms forward and then take some wrists rotations and in the other direction. And then take the arms wide, thumbs are up, palms facing towards the long end of the mat or in front of you. From this, you're going to turn the thumbs down and back. I forgot what they were called for a second. Come back through towards the center, thumbs up and behind. So you internally rotate and you externally rotate. See that you can perhaps physically see and feel this all the way into the shoulders. Next time the palms are both up, take the left hand to the side of the hip. Right arm comes over. Let's come into our side bend. Opening into the chest. The supporting hand, if you like, can come away from the body. There's space between the ear and the shoulder. Feel that opening into the side of the body. back through towards the center, over to the other side. Bring the left palm up and come over onto your side bend. Come all the way back through towards the center. Right hand to the inside of the right knee, crown of the head up. Very gently turn with the torso until you cannot turn anymore. Keep the chin parallel to the floor and the gaze in the same line as the spine. Inhale, exhale, maybe you can turn a little bit more, maybe not. Here you may feel that the left shoulder blades comes in towards the spine. One more breath. Then you bring the gaze back through towards the center, the spine back through towards the center. Hand to the inside, right arm behind you, torso naturally turns, so does the chin point in the same direction. Inhale, exhale, see whether you can take a little bit more of a turn. So this is more to do with your scapula, your shoulders, really, rather than the twist, although of course it is a twist. Come back through towards the center with the gaze and then with the arms. Now take the left arm out and then bring the arm, fingers to the shoulder. And then you're going to take some circles. So today we're doing on this particular one, just the one arm at a time and then in the other direction. Good, release the right arm, palm up, bring it to the side of the ear and then very gently reach up and down. 2 to 3, 4 times. Then bend the elbow and reach so the palm is spread and right now it's just underneath the nape of my neck. I'm going to take my other arm to lift a little bit, elongate as if you were just ironing upward the biceps and the triceps, which are the muscles of your arms. And so here my fingers are reaching towards the spine, but I'm feeling the uplifting of my thoracic spine. So my chest is lifting up. And then release the arm. Feel perhaps the blood rushing back. Release the hand down. Take a breath. Arm comes out again. This time the palm is down. You're going to take the thumb down. You turn it in so you internally rotate and you bring the arm behind you and then the hand comes up the spine this way. And again here I have access to my thoracic spine just right behind the chest and I'm going to stay here for another couple of breaths. And then we release. Good. Allow the right arm to be to the floor, the left arm to be to the floor, and notice what the arm that we've just worked feels like compared to the other arm. And then we'll go into the other side. So this time, palm comes up, bring the fingers to the shoulders and start to take some circles as if you were cranking the shoulder, and then in the other direction, so fairly active here. Good, and then you're going to come back to the center, the palm faces up, you bring the arm by the side of the ear, up and down, elevation and depression. And then bend the elbow and release the hand wherever it lands. You know, we've got different proportions from our arms. So for me, my fingers are just releasing into the spine, the thoracic spine under the cervical, so the back of the neck. But for you, maybe your hand is on your neck. There's no right or wrong. Lift the arm a little bit and stay here. So you get an opening into the ribs as well. Perhaps you're feeling this in the armpit. And then release. Ooh, feel that blood flow or sensations. Right arm out, thumbs down. You're going to turn the thumb in so you internally rotate, and then you bring the arm behind you. It may come up the spine. It may also be just where the waistline is. And this could be because there isn't that much of a turn in the shoulder. Again, you know, there's bones here. And so when bone meets bone, from here to here, this is turning in, or because of the opening into the shoulder, you might not be able to turn that much in and to take that hand high up. So just do what you can and what feels comfortable. And then you release. Well done. We're going to take some shoulder rolls again. Now extend the legs in front of you. And then from here, to have the legs a little bit wide, you're going to open and close the ankles. And then from there, spread the toes, bring them, crunch the toes, spread the toes, crunch the toes, spread the toes, crunch the toes, spread the toes, scrunch the toes. Take the hands together, and then you're going to come over towards the left leg, right leg, and you're turning. This is sometimes known as churning the mill. So you churn, and you churn, and you churn, and then in the other direction. And then come back through towards the center. Take your palms facing towards one another on the thighs. You're going to move your spine here. So you're rounding. This time it is the spine that goes back and forth. So if you want to have the legs a little bit closer towards one another, then please do in the other direction. We're loosening it up. And then come back through towards the center. You're going to take the left leg in, turn towards the right leg, and then bring yourself forward. So you're stretching into the back of the hip. And you might even start to feel a little bit of stretching into the back of the right leg as well. Slowly and curl yourself back up. Let's do this to the other side. Slowly and curling yourself back up, back through towards the center. Extend the leg. And then here, take your arms out so they're into cactus arms. Inhale, chest comes forward. Exhale, you round. Inhale, forward. Exhale, round. And again. Cat-cow seated if you like. Exhale, round. Inhale up and exhale round. Good. Let's do this one last time. Inhale up and exhale round. Good. Come back to being upright with the spine. Take the legs together. Come onto your hands and knees. On your hands and knees here, let's take the hands a little further forward, so we have a slant from the shoulders to the wrists. Allow the head to dangle. Look towards the toes, tuck them. Sit back towards the toes so we can get a good stretch on those. And then you can perhaps feel your belly towards your thighs. Press the fingers, the pads of the fingers, the knuckles of the fingers. Engage the thigh muscles, so imagine that you're hugging the muscles to the bone. Activate the back of the body. Lift yourself up into your downward facing dog. And then you might even want to walk your dog here so you can release the heel.
One by one, right heel, left heel. And then start to walk your hands towards the back of the mat. So you find yourself into a forward fold. Feel free to have a brick here if your hands will not touch the floor, or bring your hands to your shins if that much of a forward fold's too much for your back right now. From here, we'll aim to stretch a little bit more into the back of the legs. So you can come up onto the toes of the left foot so that you can feel the right buttock stretching back a little bit more. This will give you a hamstring stretch. Maybe you're feeling this as well into the calf. Allow the head to dangle here. Change over to the other side, so release the left heel, come up onto the toes of the right foot. Feel that stretch into the back of the leg. The left buttock pushes back a little bit more so that you can emphasize that stretch. Release the right heel, look forward, walk your hands towards the front of the mat so that you are back into your downward facing dog. Lift the right leg up towards the ceiling, bend the knee, open the knee out to the side as if you were sort of trying to kick your left buttock with your right heel. Then bring the right foot down, lift the left leg, three-legged dog, bend the knee, open out. Release the left foot flat to the floor, take the right leg up, and then the right leg is going to come all the way through towards the front into a lunge. So release the left knee down to the floor. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, release the hands to either side of the front leg. You're going to push your buttocks, because you can't separate your left buttock from your right buttock. That would be painful. You're going to lift the right heel so you can allow that leg to come forward into a little bit more of a runner's lunge. So feel free to extend, to take the left knee back a little bit more. Here, I'd like you to use a brick, I certainly will, to have my left hand under, or the brick under my left hand, and so I can open out and stretch into the hamstrings of the right leg. So I'm opening, I'm twisting towards the right side. Doesn't feel so stable, concentrate on your breath. Right buttock back, left buttock forward. And then coming forward now, you're going to frame the left leg, then bring the right hand actually to the inside of the right leg. I must have confused you with the legs. You're on at the front, both hands inside the right leg. Bend the right knee and then bring yourself forward so that you can place your hands on the inside of the right foot. Now maybe the foot needs to step out a little bit so that you have the space. You're coming into your lizard lunge. Here, the crown of the head is forward, the shoulders are back. You might find helpful to have a brick underneath so that maybe you release into your forearms. Allow the gaze to be brought towards the back leg. And take a few breaths here. Notice where you are feeling this. Some people like to roll all the way over onto the right side of the foot so that if you were to gaze to your foot, you would see the sole of the foot. Some people find it more comfortable to have the entirety of the foot down to the floor. That's up to you. Do what feels right. Then bring the hands back up. Move your brick to the side if you were using one. Tuck the back foot, take the front leg back into a down dog. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Left leg lifts. Left leg comes forward in between the hands. Release the right knee down. Inhale, lift yourself up. And then release the hands to either side of the front leg. You're going to bring that leg forward, the bum back, so that you come into a runner's lunge. And then bringing the brick under the right hand maybe. Your arms may be that long that you don't actually need a brick. Mine aren't that long. So we open up. Try to keep the toes of the leg that is forward up towards the ceiling. Feel free to have a slight bend in the knee if your hamstrings are fairly tight or feel fairly tight. And then we're going to release now, bending into the front knee, both hands to the inside of the left leg. And I'm going to step my left foot out so that I can come into my lizard lunge. Maybe you bend the elbows, maybe you release your forearms onto a brick, onto the floor. Different hip flexibility, hip opening, different length of arms mean that we can all do different things. Neither of them are better or worse than the next ones. One more breath here. Slowly gaze forward, come back, upright. Hands to the floor, take the front leg back into a down dog once more. Stay here for a couple of breaths. You can shake the head from side to side, back and forth. And you can walk, you can step, you can hop, you can jump your feet all the way through towards the front of the mat, finding yourself into your forward fold, either holding onto the opposite elbow, hands to the shins to be halfway up, whatever feels good. Slowly uncurl yourself back up. So that last comes the crown of the head, up, right, all the way up to the top of the mat here. Good, let's find a few sun salutation here. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Release the right leg back, right knee down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Front leg goes back into a down dog. Come up onto the toes, forward into a plank or a half a plank. Nose, chin, chest. Release yourself back to be onto your front. Slide the arms forward. So you're onto your forearms for your Sphinx. Feel free to be in any other back bend if you know that your back likes it. Hands under the shoulders, sit back briefly, lift yourself back up into a down dog. Right leg lifts and comes forward, left knee to the floor. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down, back leg to the front. Bend the knee, sweep the floor. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands in towards the chest. Let's do this to the left side. Arms up as you inhale. Exhale, down. Left leg back, left knee down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Front leg goes back into a down dog. Up onto the toes. Forward into a plank or a half a plank. Do what feels right to release yourself all the way to the front. Maybe a hovering cobra this time, hands under the shoulders but not on the floor. Hands to the floor. Sit back down into your child to your down dog. Lift the left leg. It comes forward. Right knee to the floor. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Back leg to the front. Bend the knee. Sweep the floor. Arms up and then in towards the chest. Good. Let's do two more, shall we? Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward and down. Right leg back. You choose now where your knee goes, to the floor or upright. Hands down. Front leg goes back into a down dog. Up onto the toes. Float forward into a plank. Release yourself into your front and then into the back bend of choice. Sit back into your down dog, perhaps via child's posture. Lift the right leg, bring it forward. Choose where the left knee goes. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Back leg to the front, crown of the head down. Bend the knee, sweep the floor. Hands in towards the chest. Let's move straight onto the last one. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg goes back. Choose where the left knee goes. Hands to the floor, back into a down dog. Up onto the toes, forward into a plank or a hatha plank. Release yourself into your back bend. Down dog once more. Left leg lifts and comes forward. Right knee may be on or off the floor. Back leg steps to the front, crown of the head down, bend the knee, sweep the floor, hands in towards the chest. Release the arms out to the side. Feel the circulation around your body, the heart rate. My heart certainly is going fast. Wait for this to slow down a little. Bring your awareness into your feet, making sure that the big toe, little toe, inhale, outer heel on the right foot are pressed down. Take the left leg up and then take it back into a warrior one stance, meaning that the outer edge of the back foot is all the way down to the floor. Some people with tight Achilles will need to still be with a lifted heel. Here, we're going to take the arms forward and into a variation of arches. The left hand comes to the inside of the right arm. We pull back and we open up. And then let's come back towards the center, hands facing towards one another. Again, inhale, open up. So you start to feel the torso opening out to the side, back through towards the center. Last one is the last time. Inhale, open up. So you find your chest is facing towards the long end of the mat. You might need to rearrange your feet now so that you find yourself into a warrior two stance. Here, be comfortably seated into your hips. Let's take the right palm up by the side of the ear, bend the elbow. We did this earlier on. We're going to combine it with the other arm. Thumb goes down, behind, and then goes up to meet the fingers or the hand that is up, or simply anywhere alongside the spine, keeping that chest open. We are into the warrior two stance, and those arms are the cow face arms, Gomukhasana arms. From this, let's release the arms back to the warrior two. Hinge forward, right forearm lightly to the right thigh, left arm may be on the hip, it may be up, or it may turn to be up towards the wall, towards the other side of the room. Take a couple of breaths here. Relax your toes. And this is where you realize that your toes were gripping. Come back through towards the center, hands to the hip. Straighten the front leg, have the feet parallel. Take a couple of breaths here. We'll do this to the other side. So I'm going to straight away find myself into that warrior one stance, with the left knee being the leading one now. Palms facing towards one another. My right hand comes into a gentle fist. Inhale, open up. Exhale, forward. Inhale, open up. Exhale, forward. Inhale, open up. And I will stay here as I extend my right arm. Going to realign my back foot so that I feel comfortably seated into my warrior two. Then the left palm comes up by the side of the ear, bends at the elbow, right thumb goes down, internally rotate with the shoulder, and I'm going to reach towards my fingers or the, I normally say your hair, your underwear, anything that you can gently reach towards, you do. Couple of breaths here. And then open up with the arms. Hinge forward, release the left forearm to the thigh. Extend so you're opening up. One more breath here. And then you come back into the warrior two. Hands to the hips, straighten the front leg, feet parallel. Bring those feet a little bit more in. Bend the knees any amount so that they are tracking with the toes. Find your goddess posture. Take the arms out. Inhale. Exhale, see if you can sit a little lower down. And again. Inhale, straighten the legs, release the arms. Bring your feet a little bit closer again. For this, you might need to have bricks under your heels, respect what your knees or how low down your knees want to go. We'll all end up being on the floor anyhow. So from here, inhale, arms up. Take them in towards the chest, bend the knees and sit in between your legs. Upper arms or maybe the elbows press onto the inside of the thighs or the shins or the knees. You stretch your back, pressing the palms together, fingertips pointing towards your chin, and if you gaze down towards your nose. From this, it's that elegant fall to the floor. Never happens. We're going to extend the arms forward and then release ourselves down onto the floor and extend the legs. There we go. You may find a support, same as you did at the beginning, helpful to come into Baddha Konasana, the cobbler's posture. If your hips are happy without any support to open up and be close to the floor or at least in the same line as your knees, then go ahead without a support. If you're like me, needing a prop, use it so that here I'm taking the soles of my feet together, lifting the crown of my head. You can rest your hands or wrist or forearms onto your knees. Take a few breaths here. Find that length in the spine. Here you may want to move forward by sliding the hands towards the outside of the feet and releasing the crown of the head down. Maybe it nestles into your feet. It doesn't really matter whether it does or not, as long as you can feel that stretch. Sometimes some people feel it onto the outside of the hip, sometimes onto the back. Make sure it feels good. Slowly come back up with the torso, with the gaze. Bring the knees together. Extend the right leg forward. You may want to come off your support or not. Take the left knee in towards the chest and open the left knee out to the side. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, come forward. Allow your nose to be in line somewhere with your thigh into Janoshishasana. Head to knee posture. Once you're settled here, maybe your hands will come around the part of the leg that is accessible to you. Slowly gaze forward and curl yourself back up. Bring the knee, left knee in, extend the left leg, take the right knee up and then over to the other side. If your knee is quite high, painful, take the knee out to the side or use a brick to support that knee. Inhale, lift the chest, turn the belly towards the extended leg. Exhale, come forward. Settle here. Often, because we're coming forward, it's as if we're trying to reach towards something, particularly when there is a foot in sight. However, here, close your eyes so that you can sense, you can return yourself to the sensation that emanates from inside of your body. Soften your face. Allow yourself to fold forward. Maybe your hands resting on the leg. Open your eyes, gaze towards the toes slowly and curl yourself back up. And bring the knee in, extend the legs. Give those legs a little bit of a shake here. For our next posture, you might find it helpful to have that blanket at hand, or maybe a brick. Sat onto your bottom, you're going to take the left knee in towards the chest and then take it over and across. Hold onto the outside of the left foot with the right hand and then bring it over so that now your knees are stacked. This may well be where you stay, or if you'd like to, roll over, take the bottom knee, bend it. So now this time, the right heel is next to the left hip. The top leg should still have both sitting bones down onto the floor, but you might find that it lifts a little bit because it's on top. That's okay. Any pulls, any tension, any wanting to grit the teeth, extend the bottom leg down, or maybe find sometimes it's the bottom knee that feels it needs a support. Some people like to have a bit of support under the knee. Sometimes it's in between the knees. Sometimes it's in the hips, so why not have something here to remind you to lift up here. So you can interlace the fingers at the front of the knee. Take a few breaths here. The next step is optional. This may well be where your belt would come in handy. If you did the cow face arms whilst you were standing up into the warrior two earlier on and the fingers didn't meet, then more than likely a belt would be helpful. Inhale, arms out, left arm comes up, bends at the elbow, you can help it here. Right arm, thumbs down, comes behind, maybe the fingers meet, and you can stay here. If you wish, you can bring yourself forward and down into a full Gomukhasana. Inhale, bring the gaze back up. Exhale, release the arms out to the side and down. Take the hands behind you, roll the shoulders back, extend both bottom leg and top leg. Allow the feet to separate. Give those legs a little bit of a shake. Move to the other side by bringing the right knee in and then the right foot out. Try to bring the right heel to the outside of the left hip. See how it goes. Sometimes one side will be happy to do it, sometimes not. I often see people that, even though they are leaning this way, will let the ego speak, be a little bit stubborn and stay in this posture. Do not, okay? If this is not comfortable for you to be sat onto both sitting bones and it's pinching somewhere or the other, there's a little bit of a pain, it's completely out of balance, work with this with the bottom leg extended. When you fold forward with the bottom leg extended, you get an added hamstring stretch that is not to be sniffed at. It is quite powerful too. So from here, again, you may stay here and come forward, or you may add the arms Take the arms out to the side. Turn the right palm up by the side of the ear. Bend the elbow. Left thumb comes down behind. Interlace the fingers or use your belt. Because when you come forward, you're round the back, the hands may separate as well. That's fine. Inhale, as you exhale, bring yourself forward. Are you gritting your teeth? Are you able to breathe here comfortably? Are you wishing you were somewhere else? Let's have one more breath. And then slowly bring yourself back up. Uninterlace the hands, release the arms out to the side. Take the hands behind you, extend the bottom leg, extend the top leg. Open the legs out to the side, move those knees from side to side. And then from here, let's move down onto our backs. So bring yourself onto your back here. And your head may be resting indeed on a blanket or on the floor. And we'll find our constructive rest position. So feet flat, knees up, arms out to the side. You've worked really hard here, so take a few breaths. We have a little bit more muscle engagement, a little bit more effort. Counter posture for what we have just done before we can proceed near enough to our relaxation. So from here now, press those feet down into the floor and roll over onto your right hip or left hip, it doesn't matter, as long as you can slide one of your hands under your back. When you release your back onto your hand, there is more or less of a natural gap under your back here. As you inhale, you're going to lengthen the tailbone. In other words, you're going to push your back onto your hands. And then as you do so, you might start to feel the front of the hips open a little bit more, the hip flexor lengthen. As you exhale, you're going to plant the sitting bones down and then lift away from the hand so there is space again, and you might find that shortening again into the hip flexors. Let's do this a couple more times. So as we inhale, we'll lengthen. You press the lower back onto your hand. I have my right fingertip, my right index finger onto my hip, so I can feel it being freed as I lengthen the tailbone when my left hand's pressed down. And now as I exhale and release more the back of the hips and the sitting bones down into the floor, my right index finger is gently being squeezed, lightly, I can still move it around. Yet my left hand feels that opening and the release. Let's do this once more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Now take away both hands from your hips and your back. Have the hands to the side of the body as we're going to press the hands, or have the palms, the forearms, the upper arms pressed down onto the floor. Firm your feet down, maybe a brick between the feet, that can help stabilize the knees. Inhale, lengthen the tailbone. Exhale, push onto your feet, float your thighs, your hips, your belly, your spine, up towards the ceiling. You may stay here, you may decide to come up and down. You may, if you're happy in your shoulders to do so, roll one shoulder under, the other shoulder under. Some people like to hold on the side of the mat to press and get an extra lift. Some people like to interlace the hands underneath the body to lift a little higher. Some people like to reach towards the feet, so the feet may come in a little bit more, so that you have your hands onto the inside of the ankles. many different ways of coming up and holding into your Setu Bandhasan, your bridge posture. On your next exhale, release the arms, release the shoulders. Inhale, and then as you exhale, release the upper back, the middle back, the lower back, and the buttocks. Allow the feet to knock in towards one another, the feet to be wide. Arms a little bit more away from the side of the body. Take another couple of breaths here. And then separate the knees, and if this feels like an adequate distance between your legs, you can release the knees over towards the right and the gaze over towards the left. Feel free to change either or the legs and the arms, as long as you can feel the pull of the weight of the legs, both shoulders to the floor, and the gaze, if comfortable, into the opposite direction to the knees. Nose to the center, knees to the center. Take one inhale. Exhale, knees to the left, gaze to the right. Bring the gaze back through to the center, the knees back through towards the center. Bring the right knee in towards the chest, the left knee in towards the chest. Hug them, tuck the chin, take the forehead towards the knees. Release the head back down to the floor. Some people like to take any other posture before we come down to relaxation. Feel free to. Maybe you'd like to find some items of clothing, socks, jumpers, so that you find yourself into a comfortable position. Warm. And so you find yourself on your backs. Perhaps your feet are flat to the floor and the knees are up, or you extend your legs. Choose now the posture that feels good to you. Allow the weight of the body to settle down into the floor. Feel the heels, the calves. The buttocks, the back. The arms, the shoulders, the back of the head, all resting in the floor. Once in your comfortable posture, Notice the weight of the body giving into the floor. Notice the connection of your feet or heels, calves, thighs maybe, buttocks and back, shoulders and arms, and the head resting on the floor. The openness in the body, the flow of the breath through your body. Bring a sense of relaxation upon your face by softening your features. Allow the state of rest and relaxation to take over in this Shavasana, this corpse posture. Nothing else matters but you on the floor right now. When you feel ready to, start to bring some movement into your fingertips and into your toes, very gently at first. Bring the arms over the head, take a stretch. Extend the right leg forward and the left leg forward. Left arm, right arm, as if you were walking on the spot. Very gently bring the feet flat. Roll over onto one side, curled up into a ball. Allow your eyes to open. Your top hand to press down into the floor and for you to come back into a comfortable seated posture. Place one hand on top of the other, thumbs touching. And take a couple more breaths here to notice how you are feeling right now. In your head, your shoulders, your hips, your knees and your toes. Let's inhale. Exhale loudly through the mouth. One more. Let's take one more breath. Release the thumbs to the forehead for kind thoughts towards yourself and others. To your lips for kind words towards yourself and others. And to your heart for kind actions towards yourself and others. I salute you. Namaste.